Yes, indeed. Thomond Park packed to its lofty rafters tonight as Leinster make the trip to the newly redeveloped Limerick Citadel for the very first time. The achievements of the Ireland team have brought rugby firmly into the national focus recently, and tonight all eyes will be on the top two sides in the Magners League as they write the latest chapter in an age-old rivalry that rarely disappoints. With only Dennis Leamy and Rua Tupoki missing through injury, Tony McGann won't have had too many sleepless nights picking this starting 15. Ireland's Grand Slam winning front five all safely back in harness. So too the half-back partnership of Ronan O'Gara and Tomás O'Leary. Ian Dowling has made a sooner than expected return to fitness and replaces Barry Murphy on the wing, with Paul Warwick switching from out half to play at full-back. Niall Ronan will relish the chance to continue his recent good form against his native province after scoring a hat-trick last week against Glasgow. David Wallace starts at number 8. Well, Rob Kearney and Jimmy Heaslip returned for Leinster, but conspicuous by their absence, Brian O'Driscoll and Luke Fitzgerald. The Ireland captain is nursing the effects of a bruising Six Nations campaign. Fitzgerald not yet fully recovered from a shoulder injury. So the reshuffled Leinster three-quarter line sees Kearney and Nathiwa on the wings, Shane Horgan alongside Gordon Darcy in the midfield. Horgan's bulk presumably seen as an antidote for Lefemi Maffey, who caused real havoc in the match at the RDS back in September. Cian Healy benefits from CJ van der Linde's toe injury. Much will hinge on Leinster's formidable back three of Elsom, Jennings and Heaslip. On the bench as well, Munster go for a 4-3 split, 5-2 for Leinster, and the Fogarty family will be keen to see brothers Dennis and John get a run at some stage. 7 straight wins in a row now for Leinster. They really are in good form since that defeat to Glasgow at Firhill, which really hurt them back in late October. He's in Athiwa on the wing again tonight. It's taken a while to find a home for him in the Leinster jersey, and here they come to a tumultuous reception, I'm sure. Paul O'Connell, Munster. Straight into his role as captain, Paul O'Connell, with words of advice. Alan Quinlan, as ever, vocal in there. Interestingly, the man in charge is from France tonight, Christophe Burdos. The cries of Munster reverberate around this stadium, and it'll be the home team and Ronan O'Gara to get us underway. So many subplots and currents running through this rivalry. The two number 10s, Contepone and O'Gara, just one of those tonight. The battle of the back rows, another to watch as well. The collisions and the breakdown as ever crucial. Munster versus Leinster at Thomond Park is underway, and O'Gara's kick just makes the 10. Tomás O'Leary, good speed. O'Gara is met by Leo Cullen, and Leo Cullen's turned it over, and then Malcolm O'Kelly shows a good footballing brain, and the bounce might yet work out for Leinster. Early involvement for Ian Dowling. Back in the side, it's there for Tomás O'Leary. Skips out O'Connell and goes instead to O'Gara. The newly formed Leinster midfield together and making the early tackles. Whistle sounds, and it's a forward pass.
French referee Christophe Burdos. It'll be interesting to see what influence he has on the game. Pass here adjudged to be forward. Looked marginal, I thought myself, but an interesting start. Munster not going for the territory as we expected, keeping the ball alive. Unfortunately, a spill early on, and interesting also as well here, Cian Healy. Really promising young loose head. A lot of him see him as Marcus Horan's long-term replacement in that Irish side, up against the most capped player of all time, John Hayes.
Whittaker feeds the scrum, and it's a good shove from Leinster. There it is for the scrum half. It's a loose pass though to Contepomi. And the two half-backs for Munster try and get a hold of Contepomi. He managed to get away from them, but he couldn't get away from Paul O'Connell on the 10-metre line. Heaslip wants it.
No.
Slow ball coming back, and Christophe Burdos not running away, and it's an early penalty inside the opening 2 minutes. And this is the question that has been raised about French refereeing. Would he be strict? Would he be lenient?
Yeah, I think it's Donegal O'Callaghan, the one that he's singling out, mentioning him for using his hands in the rock. There are times when certainly French referees seem to ignore a lot of those infringements, but obviously he's picked O'Callaghan early, but also very positive start for Leinster first scrum. Really good nudge there from that Leinster front row, and almost came to nothing after a poor pass from Whittaker, but a great opening opportunity here now for Contepomi.
Seemed to strike it well. Contepomi not well enough, and the early chance goes a begging. And will that set the tone for the Puma inside the opening 3 minutes? And that would have been a settler.
You can see the reaction from the Munster crowd. They really love to get at Felipe Contepomi, and you have to say, with a kick like that, he's playing right into their hands.
5 times he started in that number 10 jersey for Leinster this season. Leinster have 5 wins from those matches. The chance for first blood to Leinster passed up. Malcolm O'Kelly has his hands on it, under pressure. In goes Jackman and Donegal O'Callaghan. It's there for Whittaker. Now Contepomi looking to make amends. Fires one skyward. It's a good kick. He's in a fairway, but it was well read by Ian Darling. And Munster look to break early. Doug Hoylett covering back. Rocky Elsom and Gervin Dempsey. The Wallaby has it. And then to the safe hands of Gervin Dempsey. And a touch just short of halfway.
You see a great kick here from Dougie Howlett, from intelligent play from Ian Dowling. What an intelligent player he is, and great to see him back. But Rocky Elsom covered 40 metres to get back, pick up that ball, and Elsom really has been the talisman for Leinster. Superb so far this season.
Leo Cullen made his return from injury in the match against Ulster last week. He looked very sharp. He'll be important, as will Alan Quinlan. Tomas O'Leary. He's looked lively. Was that high from Leo Cullen? The Thomond Park faithful think so. Referee says on we go. Wallace in there, O'Callaghan. It's Wallace. Force back Jimmy Heaslip, making his presence felt, but it's good ball now for Leinster, for Munster. And Earls, the outside pass was almost on for Warwick, just behind the fullback coming into the line.
Yeah, for 1 second there it just looked as if Keith Earls had got Darcy on the outside, but really it was a poor pass. Paul Warwick on his outside, pass went behind him. Definitely an opportunity lost, but a glimpse of the talent and the opportunism there from young Keith Earls, who lost out on the Six Nations perhaps due to injury, but fighting to get back in contention for higher honours.
Jackman goes for his captain and finds him. Good take from Cullen. Now Whittaker fumbles it a little bit. Offside this time. And a good chance for Ronan O'Gara. He'll have a look. And he will send this down toward the far touchline.
I think there's obstruction from Jamie Heaslip at the back of the line. A good take from Cullen. No real pressure from Munster in that line-out, but Jamie Heaslip adjudged by the referee to have interfered with David Wallace, who was looking to put pressure on Contepomi.
And it offers up a good platform for Jerry Flannery inside the Leinster 22. Again it's Alan Quinlan, and again it's a very good take. That's good work from touch from Flannery. Now controlling things. In comes Wallace. Niall Ronan. Stanley Wright makes the tackle. Presented by Flannery. O'Callaghan for the pick and drive. Heaslip tackles. Referee playing advantage. There it is for Tomas O'Leary. Now it's Niall Ronan up against Rocky Elsom. O'Leary. O'Gara looks to kick. He goes high. Hoylett and Warwick and Earls all in there. Through comes Gervin Dempsey. Superb take.
Sorry, I can't hear. Sorry.
And he has called for the mark.
Yes, sir.
That's what Gervin Dempsey does so well.
Well, he really has been a model of consistency for both Leinster and Ireland over the years. Magnificent under a high ball like that, and that playing away from home, it gives the team a huge boost. With all the pressure and all the crowd here screaming and roaring, you just knew there was no way that Dempsey was going to drop this ball. Eyes on the ball all the time. Look at the elevation he gets. Great jump, and made the call. Referee didn't hear it initially, but then gave the mark.
82 caps for Ireland and 152 appearances for Leinster. Gervin Dempsey, tremendous servant. 2 in a row to Alan Quinlan from Jerry Flannery.
No.
They look for number 3.
No, the same. Restore. The same. No, discipline. Both.
Referee just encouraging them not to breach the gap before it's put in from Flannery, and he will throw again. This time they went for Niall Ronan, and it's gone to the back, and Jennings now with a chance. Maffey and O'Connell together. Back it comes on the Leinster side for Whitaker. Conchapomi has a look, almost charged down. Earls is in there, as is Darcy. Conchapomi again, this time it's ball in hand. Stanley Wright bounces off Niall Ronan, put to ground by Jerry Flannery. In goes Whitaker. Conchapomi again. Good tackling from Munster. Niall Ronan getting a lot of work done. Now he's in a Fewa. Oh well, that's a poor pass really, under no pressure.
Yeah, I agree with you, Conor. Nasiwa, one of the talented runners, but certainly his pass off his left hand here left him down. Poor pass, gone to ground, gave Gordon Darcy no chance. Great work again though from Niall Ronan, a bit of his Gaelic football skills in blocking down there. But again, I think you look at the line out. Munster first through went to Alan Quinlan. They tried to get Niall Ronan there. Obviously with the familiarity, O'Kelly would know O'Callaghan and O'Connell well, and they're keeping it away from them early.
Wallace to O'Leary. No, it's O'Gara tried to go inside Conchapomi. The Argentinian read the danger. Penalty against Lafemi Maffey now. The whistle of Christophe Burdos has been frequent.
So again, it's too far.
Ten minutes gone, and it's a little bit cat and mouse. So much at stake. Rob Carney drills one off that left boot, taking play just beyond the 10-metre line. Conchapomi read the intentions of O'Gara well.
And Leinster have cut their line out here. They have the back row in the middle of the field. Also, Nasiwa out there is another option. Obviously looking to have a couple of decoy runners here. They win the ball. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Let's go.
They go again for Leo Cullen. Whitaker has it. Into midfield it goes to Jimmy Heaslip. Met by a sea of red, but they rumble on to the 10-metre line. Good support from Leinster. Now, can they get quick ball? He's in a Fewa. Dinks one through.
Keep the mark.
Watched all the way by Warwick. Not sure it was the best option.
Oh, it's a poor kick from Nasiwa. We've seen a bad pass and a poor kick. I mean, he is a very good footballer, but he seems to certainly has had a nervous start to this game. He's moving around as well. He's picked on the right wing, but he's on the left wing at times here opposite Dougie Howlett. I mean, they're like brothers when you see them up close.
Up goes O'Kelly, doesn't gather. And it'll be a Leinster ball on the far side, which they will look to take quickly. Cut off by Jerry Flannery, though. Leinster coming here tonight to avenge the defeat at the RDS back in September. Failed to score a point on that occasion. Tries from Justin Melk and Doug Howlett doing the damage. Again, they go for Cullen. Rocky Elsom has it. Wallace tackles. Then goes Horan and O'Callaghan. O'Kelly over it, leaves it for Whittaker. Bernard Jackman.
No hands.
Alan Quinlan trying to steal it as ever. Contepomi inside to Shane Horgan. O'Callaghan missed the tackle. Now it's Gordon Darcy. Was that crossing? Referee a little bit slow on the whistle, and then when Munster have possession, he finds his whistle and calls play back, much to the ire of the Munster supporters, who are still cheering. I think they've scored a try, and the whistle's gone 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah, and that has incensed the crowd. It's the second time in the match that the referee has said sorry. There's no point in saying sorry.
Against blue? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the penalty is for the crossing, taking out a player, but without question the advantage should have been played. He's apologising to Paul O'Connell because he didn't hear it, but you can just listen to what the crowd think of it.
And a wry smile from Sean Payne. The penalty taken quickly, looking for Doug Howlett. That could have been very interesting.
You can't see it from that angle there. Shane Horgan bringing the ball into contact. When the ball goes on the right hand side here, just earlier on there was Jimmy Heaslip, but if you look at the pace of Dowling outside, definitely an opportunity for Munster. But I think it's as interesting looking at the Leinster backline. You can forget about the numbers on their backs. Darcy is lining out at 12 for a lot of their attacking ploys, with Nasiwa at 13 and Shane Horgan on the wing. So all the potential surprise about Horgan being picked in the centre. They are mixing and matching for different positions on the field and different attacking opportunities.
Looking for Jimmy Heaslip, but it's an overthrow really from Bernard Jackman. Munster ball. Quinlan met by Contepomi. And is it turnover ball? It certainly is. Whittaker, and then did he knock it on? Referee says no. O'Connell tries to block it down. That was good play from Contepomi. Ronan O'Gara has time to measure his kick. Rob Kearney fires one down that far side, and a really good gain of ground. He's so useful in that position. Well, both sides at times in the opening 50 minutes have struggled from the lineouts. Let's have a look at Jerry Flannery. Twice in a row going for Alan Quinlan, and it worked out well. Meantime, Tomas O'Leary. Shane Horgan comes from very deep, gets very high despite the attentions of Ian Dowling, and takes a really good catch. Whittaker, Rocky Elsom this time at first receiver, trying to spin away up toward the halfway line. Cian Healy, and suddenly a bit of space, and Cian Healy's got real pace. So does Tomas O'Leary. Good covering from the scrum half. Now Whittaker, and there could be options. Rocky Elsom may have come this way. He may still have made the right decision to go the other way. Bunching off Paul O'Connell. Cian Healy has injured himself. Whittaker to Contepomi. Contepomi inside, the referee's playing advantage. Chris Whittaker now. Gervin Dempsey goes to ground, and it's recycled, and there could be numbers here for Leinster. Rocky Elsom forced to check back inside, met by Alan Quinlan. Whittaker. Now Shane Horgan running straight, needs support. Niall Ronan's in there and he may have turned that over. It's back on the Leinster side with Whittaker. Conchapomi looking for Darcy. He took that on his heels, flat-footed, and Warwick swarms over Gordon Darcy, but it's still Leinster ball. Retaining possession well, Leo Cullen. And then Shane Horgan coming in, and it's holding on after the tackle. Jerry Flannery gets a pat on the back.
That's the old squeeze ball. Leo Cullen going into contact there. Referee judging that he was trying to play it between his legs, but a fantastic passage of play from Leinster. Great ball retention. Jerry Flannery really was the reason for the ball not coming back. Got in there early, stayed on his feet, played the ball, but without question the best passage of play. Superb running there from Cian Healy, who looked as if he damaged an ankle, and Rocky Elsom. And we've seen a lot of high-profile stars coming to Thomond Park in the past. The likes of Shabbat obviously stick out when they've taken on Munster and they've been sent backwards. But Rocky Elsom certainly has had a very explosive opening quarter to this game.
Yes. Good job.
So important to the Leinster cause. Rocky Elsom, will he be around next season? That's not yet rectified. Conflicting reports every day almost in the press at this stage. Again, it's Quinlan instrumental. Flannery has it. Wallace in close attendance. Jimmy Heaslip with a tackle. In goes Quinlan again. Leinster player on the wrong side. Heaslip receiving a little bit of treatment. The two locks together. And it comes out the side and it's turnover ball. Whittaker to Conchapomi. Now, what are the options? Kicks and it looks... Well, it bounces rather favourably for Warwick, who takes his time and measures his kick. And now it's Carney at pace. Past one, almost past two. Gervin Dempsey, good support. Shane Jennings. And again, it's crossing. Well, Jennings, I feel a little bit unfortunate. He took that ball at pace and wouldn't have known where his colleague was.
There really is some fantastic rugby there from Leinster. They're offloading in the tackle. Gervin Dempsey keeping the ball. And again, Shane Jennings playing the open side role. A huge tackle going in from Keith Earls. Certainly no love lost there. Perhaps that's the signal the Enfield loving has finally broken down.
Well, we did hope after the achievements of the Six Nations that this match wouldn't have a soft underbelly.
Well, it was always going to be competitive, and you have to say the pressure was on Leinster coming into the game, losing O'Driscoll, losing Luke Fitzgerald and Van der Linde, but they've really taken the game to Munster. Their forwards have started extremely well. They've carried the ball well. As I say, they've done very well in terms of turning over possession, and in attack, Horgan, Dempsey, they've looked very sharp at the moment.
Measured kick, inviting the chase from Doug Hylett. Back inside his 22 is Gervin Dempsey. And again, he does the basics so well.
And again, if you go back to the interview with Tony McGahan before the match, what he was talking about was field position. Munster just haven't had field possession. The whole 20 minutes that we've had so far have been played in the Munster half of the field.
Paul O'Connell, quick ball. Lafemi Maffey, this was where he's so dangerous. Shane Jennings again with a tackle. Now they look for gaps in midfield. Earls has been lively. Conchapomi has got his hands on it. It's slow coming back. There it is for O'Leary. Now it's O'Gara. A little bit isolated as Darley, but he spins away from Heaslip. Takes the tackle from Cullen. That's good again from the winger. And was there a boot in there? Darley claiming that Leinster slowing it down illegally, so advantage. Marcus Horan goes to ground, and again it's slow coming back. Conchapomi in the way this time. Penalty.
Yeah, you're going to see that. You're going to the other side. Penalty here, two option. Captain.
Munster had two advantages to play for there, and Tomas O'Leary, I think, looked at the referee and he said, look, just please give us the penalty, 3 points.
Really is frantic at the breakdown area.
Yeah, and to be somewhat ironic, if Munster go into a 3-point lead, how many times have they seen it in games before? Teams dominating the early exchanges, dominating field position and possession, but nothing to show for it. And with Contabomey having missed that easy earlier kick, certainly this one from O'Gara a little bit more difficult. Put your money on him to get it.
The noise will tell you, even before it splits the uprights, that Ronan O'Gara has fired Munster into the lead after 22 minutes.
And a perfect strike there from O'Gara, really, since that little blip he had against England, but he missed 4 out of 6, I think it was. His kicking since then has been impeccable, and you know, when you look at all the work that Leinster have done, all the work of the forwards, now they've nothing to show for it.
Huge psychological boost for Munster, and Alan Quinlan collects possession. Flannery to O'Connell, looks to go inside. Jamie Heaslip up to the 10-metre line, presented well for O'Leary, and it gets the back line moving. Ronan O'Gara and Felipe Contabomey together.
Yeah. No, don't play Canada.
Leinster committing good numbers. Turnover ball, that's twice Contabomey has affected a turnover.
Hands off!
Elsom goes in again to help out Whitaker now to ease in Athiwa, standing in the number 10 channel. Wallace with a tackle.
No hands! No battle.
Whitaker. Rocky Elsom. O'Callaghan with a tackle. Back it goes this time for Contabomey. And he drills one over to that far side. Warwick chases, and again the fullback's positioning is spot on.
Oh. Yes.
Carney with plenty of time. Gets through the traffic, Carney, and he's coming in chase. Really good take. And then it's fired downfield in the direction of Shane Horgan. Did he touch that? Some of the kicking and the catching under the high ball has been of the highest order.
I think on this occasion he thought it was going to go out. You see the initial kick from Rob Kearney. The crowd got a bit excited, but he was entitled to a challenge for the ball in the air there. It was taken by Tomás O'Leary, I think it was. The kick then, the subsequent kick from Keith Earls, I think Shane Horgan thought it was going out on the full.
Ronan O'Gara's taken a bit of a knock, possibly in that exchange with Felipe Contabomey a moment earlier.
Yeah, well, we've seen this before at this stage of the season. Heineken Cup next week. It looked to me as if O'Gara was going to go straight off, but it's his knee and he's holding his head. He certainly doesn't look happy.
And it looks like a knee problem also for Bernard Jackman. And that is not a good sight for Munster. 24 minutes gone. They lost him early in the match against Ulster, which really went against them, losing that match 37 points to 11. Jackman has come off for treatment. Not sure if we'll see him again, and Fogarty is in his place. Ronan O'Gara, for the meantime at least, seems to be okay. Fogarty finds Malcolm O'Kelly. And we understand it's an injury to Bernard Jackman, so Fogarty may be in for the remainder. Whitaker directing things as ever. Contabomey, Munster player, goes to ground off the ball. Darling watches it all the way, and as he always does, looks to run. No room to get past the first line of defence for Leinster though. Tomás O'Leary to O'Gara. Now Maffey, what can he do? Doug Hyland cuts a good angle and comes back inside Rocky Elsom. Now Alan Quinlan, burst of pace, goes inside Cian Healy. Great position for Munster. All the numbers right.
Inside.
O'Leary. Will O'Gara dink one through? Doug Harlett was chasing. He's in a theme of grinds the ball in the in-goal area, but you can hear the boos. Doug Harlett. Suggestion that he was taken out.
He's coming in, you know. The time off. 22.
Touch judge
22.
on this near side has spotted it, has he?
I don't know if it's a 22 or it's come.
No.
Yeah, Alan Quinlan's going into contact here. The touch judge has called a 22, but the crowd incensed. They felt that Howlett was taken out. We'll just see. He kicks the ball. Lovely little tink. Definitely Whittaker stepped in there. I think there's...
Take your pick, Whittaker or Stanley Wright. Meantime, Hollett's doing his best to make amends. He gets away from 2 or 3. Brilliant, elusive running from Doug Howlett. And look at this, Leinster have turned it over. Game is being played at breakneck speed. Leinster could do with a relieving clearance. Munster looking very dangerous. Flashes of real brilliance from Howlett. Now Warwick at pace as well. Fancies his chances, goes inside and out, and that's brilliant from Warwick. Taken on by Niall Ronan. In goes Tomás O'Leary. Now it's Paul O'Connell. And it's loose. But it's going to be a penalty. And well, we saw one flash of genius from Howlett, and then Warwick inside and out, so confident.
Yeah, it really is an outstanding game for 3-0. You might get the wrong impression. Both sides really putting wit on the game. But I could see where the crowd were incensed with that earlier challenge on Doug Howlett. You don't have to get out of a player's way, but certainly on first viewing it looked as if Chris Whittaker, I'm not sure who the other Leinster player was, did step into the path of Doug Howlett.
I think it was Stanley Wright. Now then. Should be meat and drink to a man like Ronan O'Gara, and it is. Munster lead by 6 points to 0 in the 28th minute.
And the difference between the sides really at the moment, Munster just have been far more clinical. They've spent very little time in that opposition 22, but when they've got there, they've earned the penalties and they've taken them.
Well, what Leinster do not want to do at this stage is allow Munster build an innings. Rob Kearney and Doug Howlett together. Now Heaslip with a chance to try and open his shoulders. Gets past Niall Ronan, then he's put to ground. Whittaker, a little bit of a fumble, but it gets to Conchapomi. Now he's in a Fiwa. Donnacha O'Callaghan has a hold of him, and then goes Shane Horgan to a bit of clearing out. Whittaker. Munster tackling's been good. Paul O'Connell still has his hands on it. So strong, trying to rip it away. And the 16th man enjoyed that. And they'll enjoy this to Alan Quinlan. Hacks one downfield, and the chase is on, and the speed of Keith Earls. Lung-busting run. The ball wins the race to touch.
Yeah, in the case of the old dog for the hard road, Alan Quinlan, he may be 33 years of age, but again, sensing the pressure that Leinster were putting on, when that penalty was given, he just tapped. He didn't look for anybody else to take responsibility, and just made sure that Munster got out of their half.
Munster packed the line out. Fogarty goes for Rocky Elsom, he's under pressure.
He's in the air, okay? So forward in the air.
It's gone forward, and there was an infringement in any case.
Yeah, and it has been noticeable in the line-out where Munster are now putting more pressure on Leinster. They're winning their ball, but it's poor quality really. O'Callaghan and O'Connell have now got up, and they are putting pressure on Malcolm O'Kelly and Leo Cullen. That obviously has a knock-on effect for Chris Whittaker. and as a result, you know, they haven't been getting the quality of ball from the line-out that you would have thought.
Yeah, he's inside, yeah, you can pass. Inside, yeah. Binding, please.
Munster fans finding their voice. 10 minutes to go to half-time, and they're leading by 6 points to 0.
Touch, balls engaged.
Cian Healy and Hayes on that near side. He gets his bind right, and then it's through the legs from Heaslip. Darcy, did that go forward?
Inside.
No, back it goes from Whittaker to Contepomi. Warwick cantering back to his 22. That's a good touch find. Contepomi taking it quickly. Rob Corney changes the direction and fires it up into the sky. Time for Ian Dowling, and he took one just a few moments ago really well. Not so well that time, and knocks it forward.
You don't see Dowling making too many mistakes, but he has been out of the game for a number of weeks with a bad hamstring injury. Knocked that one and then played it offside. But again, you know, as we pointed out earlier, it's Nasiba is playing 13 most of the time, with Darcy standing in the 12 channel, in the position really where he's played most of his representative rugby in recent times.
Well, we were down on the pitch just prior to kick-off. There is a little bit of a swirling breeze around. Made that difficult for Dowling. Set up well by Heaslip. Now Stanley Wright against Niall Ronan. In from the side, and the decision goes the way of Munster. And then there's a little bit of silly stuff going on. Christoph Burdoff quite rightly saying unnecessary. And Owen Quinlan, as ever, playing the game with a smile on his face.
Yeah, well, he's certainly not going to change at this stage of his life, but we haven't had a huge amount of scrums, Conor, but the ones we've had, I have to say, I've been really impressed with the Leinster scrum. Cian Healy in particular has done really well on that loose head side, and you know, Ireland's front five, perhaps the physical toll of the so many games in the last 6 or 7 weeks, they're certainly not making the physical impact that one might have thought they would, which is in some ways understandable, as I say, given the workload on the same players week in, week out.
That is a point that may well become a factor as the game progresses into the latter stages. Weary limbs.
Let's go.
Flannery goes for Dominic O'Callaghan. Not making any ground, and then the pass is a little bit behind its target. Now O'Connell relishes an attack at Leo Cullen. Every time he gets it, there's 2 Leinster players together though.
Go back.
Slow coming back to Jerry Flannery. Niall Ronan this side. Lafemi Maffey lurking. Here's Maffey. Now it's Warwick with Keith Earls outside. Misses out him and goes instead to Doug Howlett. Very little pitch to work with. Manages to get it back inside. Warwick then under pressure. Ball not yet in touch. Now it is. Howlett looks very sharp.
Well, he did really well to keep the ball alive initially, but Leinster just had too many numbers there. Great pass from Warwick, manages to get outside Carney, keeps it alive, but Warwick really under pressure from Whittaker and Contepomi just goes over the touchline there.
6 in the line for Leinster, 8 for Munster. Munster ball, Paul O'Connell, as he did so many times in Cardiff.
Yeah, and that has been coming, as we said earlier, Munster putting pressure on that Leinster throw. John Fogarty, of course, coming in for Bernard Jackman, but he would have, you know, he's been part and parcel of this Leinster squad for so long. No excuses with that.
Niall Ronan finds Wallace, and the leg drive from Wallace. Tremendous pace over the first 15-20 metres. Now there could be options for Munster if they can find the right pass. Dinked through by Warwick. The chase is on. Whittaker wins the race, and Howlett was lurking, and that's perhaps the best chance that Munster have had yet for a try.
Yeah, well, Munster have come alive, really. I mean, we had the Howlett attack earlier, great ball, and again, great little dink from Warwick. But Chris Whittaker, as any good scrum half, doing the corner flagging, second line of defence, got back and made sure that they were in a position to touch it down.
There's a lovely pass out to the wing to create the space. And again, there was good awareness in there from Niall Ronan. Quinlan takes responsibility. Tackled by Carney, who's on the wrong side and can expect a bit of studs. Ronan O'Gara has a look, tries to play the territory. Just overcooks it slightly. Five minutes to go to half-time, and it's flown in, really, the opening 35 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic contest, really, both sides going at it hammer and tongs, but the quality and the variety of play, both in terms of keeping the ball alive in hand and the physicality at the breakdown, has been superb to watch.
Alan Quinlan, again, how many carries is that in the first half already from the number 6? Warwick now to Lafemi Maffey. Horgan and Darcy there. Horgan does well. Quicker ball this time. Munster get numbers to the ruck. Are they going to be penalised? Yes, they are. Not coming back.
He's too red. He's on his feet. He's too red.
The Leinster players giving credit to John Fogarty and Leo Cullen there, and they've done that on numerous occasions tonight. They allow the ball carrier to get sucked in the contact area. It was Jerry Flannery here. You just see Cullen putting in the tackle, and Flannery again on his feet. Great work there by John Fogarty coming in off the bench.
Dempsey brings play back into the Munster half. Leinster will feel for their possession and for the way they've played the opening 37 minutes or so that they should have points on the board. What can they do from the line out? Shorten the numbers. They go for Malcolm O'Kelly. Whittaker to Contepomi, looking for Elsom. And then it's gone forward. Heaslip will be called back.
Under pressure.
Good idea, and if that had gone to hand for Rocky Elsom, it could have been on for Leinster.
Yeah, I think they're working off the playbook of the All Blacks. You've seen them do this four-man line-out options then with the full back row. It was meant for Rocky Elsom. The pass from Contepomi could have been a little bit more sympathetic. Good pressure from Munster midfield as well.
Well, to be fair to the Munster defence, they had Rocky Elsom in their sights. It would have taken a very audacious offload. Munster using the kicking options that are available to them through Paul Warwick.
Away blue, 5 blue, 6 white. Away.
Shane Horgan behind this one.
Yes. Away.
Sends up to Gary Owen. And it's dropping just beyond halfway. Collects. Good work, but not under too much pressure, Shane Horgan. Now it's Darcy, and now it's Cian Healy. Takes a good tackle from Jerry Flannery to stop him, and now it could be on for Marcus Horan. Keith Earls is there as well, as is Alan Quinlan. Referee playing advantage, it's gone forward.
Yeah, it's a good situation. You can play the ball with the feet. You can play the ball with the feet.
Shane Horgan doing well.
Yeah, great take from Shane Horgan, who really must be hurting not to be involved in that Ireland Grand Slam success after all his service. But again, Leinster winning quick ball, spinning it wide. They were almost too efficient for their own good, because you just see it was Cian Healy bringing it into contact, but no scrum half there.
It's a really good scrum again from Leinster. Set piece is working well now. Contepomi. Good tackle, Marcus Horan. Malcolm O'Kelly. Driven back by Paul O'Connell.
7.
Penalties against, seem to be number 6, the indication from Christophe Burdos.
Down, you go. Stay here. You move.
It was in fact Niall Ronan, he seemed to indicate 6, but
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Alan Quinlan not the guilty party that time, and a chance for a shot at goal from a long, long way out. It looks like Rob Carney's going to
Okay,
try
thanks.
and take it.
Yeah, but Leo Cullen asked the referee how much was left. He told him 20 seconds, so he'd no option really. I think Carney had stepped up anyway, to be fair to him. We've seen him, just how big a kicker he is out of hand. We haven't seen him place kick a whole lot, so interesting to see if he has the distance for this one.
Silence descends on Thomond Park in respect of the kick at goal. Not that time from Rob Kearney. Tried to take the rubber off the ball and never really got a hold of it, and that is the last action of a pulsating first half. Both sides giving it their absolute all. 2 penalties though from Ronan O'Gara have Munster in the box seat after 40 minutes. Munster 6, Leinster 0. Munster and Leinster don't meet here at Thomond Park that often. In 2006, Ronan O'Gara kicked 20 points as Munster won by 25 points to 11 in the Magners League. Before that, you've got to go all the way back to the old Interpros in December '95 when Alain Roland, the World Cup final referee as he is now, scored a try to help Leinster to victory. At half-time, it's 2 penalties from Ronan O'Gara, the difference between the sides in this match, which will decide who goes top of the Magners League table into the European quarter-final break. Donald Lenihan at half-time. Tony McGann, you would imagine, would be very pleased because his side have done well off not too much ball. Leinster have played really well in the first half and should feel aggrieved perhaps to be behind.
Yeah, certainly the effort of the forwards hasn't been rewarded. I agree with the lads in the studio in terms of Contepomi hasn't directed the game very well. Certainly some of his kicking out of hand has been extremely poor. Asenesiwa also guilty of kicking away possession in the Munster 22. And the Munster, if you like, they're almost reflecting Ireland, where we saw in the Six Nations Championship. They didn't have great opening halves, and it'll be interesting to see now if they crank it up in the second half. The difference, as we have said, they have been more clinical. Every time they've had an opportunity to score, O'Gara has put it away. And you have to say there is a question mark over whether or not they should have got a further penalty on the interference from Dougie Howlett.
Just to recap, it's Munster who are currently top of the Magners League table. 10 wins and 3 defeats from their 13 matches. 45 points, they're 3 ahead of the Leinster. And if you look a little bit ahead to the business end of the season, most people would argue that it's Munster who have the kinder run-in. So it could be argued that this match is more important to Leinster in terms of trying to retain their Magners League title.
Check again. Yeah, it's gone fine, thank you.
Leinster badly need a more positive contribution from that man, Felipe Contepomi.
Red. Blue. Okay.
Christophe Burdos is happy, Contepomi is happy, and the second half is underway. O'Leary's kick invites Gervin Dempsey forward. There it is for Whittaker. Now Contepomi, Horgan out this way, but he's a little bit isolated. And then the cover comes in, but not quick enough.
No, wrong side, keep the ball.
And there was a little bit of indecision that time on Leinster ball.
Again, Contepomi, as you say, just a little bit hesitant. He had players outside him. Laifemi Mafi was orchestrating the Munster defence. He took responsibility for the hit, and again, Contepomi not releasing after the tackle from Mafi. Good kick from Ronan O'Gara, and it's something they'll have to cut out
if they're going to win this match, Leinster, that's for sure.
Yeah, again, Maffey with the original attack, but just Paul O'Connell came in then, played, was looking to play the ball on the ground, but Contepomi not releasing. Cian Healy, interesting, we saw him twist an ankle in the first half. He has it strapped up and he is limping a little bit.
Alan Quinlan has discarded the headgear. Takes another line out. Away comes O'Leary. No room to get past Heaslip or Leo Cullen.
Oh, unplayable, 2 players.
Put into Munster.
And I think Munster will target the opening 10 minutes of this half. If they can manage to get another score, especially if it was a try on the scoreboard, it would make it very difficult for Leinster. And as we've said, in opposition half, they have been clinical. To be interesting now to see if they can build something from here.
Restart.
Ian Darling has come in field off his wing and is just behind Ronan O'Gara. Maffey, Earls and Warwick and Howlett widest of all. Wallace to O'Leary, and now is the burst of pace from Tomás O'Leary. The cover was good and it had to be Paul O'Connell. It's a little bit loose, and again it's advantage. The numbers were right. O'Leary realised that when he looked to come left and went back inside. Good decision from the scrum half, and now they protect ball with Quinlan. There for Tulleke O'Callaghan. 4 right and 3 left. The pick and drive from O'Callaghan. That's the 5-metre line. That's the whistle of Christophe Burdos.
7, you're not a tackle player, wrong side. You're not tackle player, last action.
Again, Munster looking so threatening.
Yeah, Tomás O'Leary really was the catalyst for this attack from the scrum. His pace superb. We just see Tulleke O'Callaghan, the old pick and drive has worked well for Munster tonight. And again, Shane Jennings, the one penalised. But that is why Tomás O'Leary has been in the side. We know defensively he's extremely busy player, but he does have remarkable pace, has played on the wing, and with a little bit more space available off the scrum, took the opportunity there.
Full house. That's a given at Thomond Park for the visit of Leinster. We reckon that the Leinster fan count is somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000. But it's the Munster fans who are happiest. 4 minutes into the second half, Ronan O'Gara does what Ronan O'Gara does best and keeps the scoreboard ticking over, and Munster beginning to put some daylight. Shane Horgan gallops after it, and perhaps that just put Lafemi Maffey off. And Leinster really need to get going now.
You've seen so many times over the years those short kicks for using Shane Horgan, 6'4". Lafemi Maffey wasn't under huge pressure, really should have taken that.
Rocky Elsom as well was in close attendance. Again, it's a good solid scrum. Heaslip to Whitaker, looking to dink one through, but Warwick's positioning as ever is very good. And then Elsom comes thundering in again. Well, it's loose on the referee's whistle.
Sorry, sir. No, please, no, nothing. So scrum, who scrum? Red. No, attention.
It's gone forward off blue. I think Mr. Burdos has corrected himself there with consultation with the touch judge down on this side.
Well, as always in Thomond Park, I think the crowd let him know he got that one wrong ever before the touch judge.
Stay.
And again, Leinster getting the shove on. Munster scrum under pressure. O'Leary looks to tidy up. He was under pressure. Now it's Shane Horgan. Huge pass infield to Gervin Dempsey, and now they look to work it quickly. Another huge cry from the Munster fans for forward. In comes Shane Jennings, huge physicality. The little wraparound from Contepomi. That one certainly was forward. He is looking a little bit out of sorts at times, Felipe Contepomi, and that is not good news for Leinster.
All the players stop.
Yeah, I agree, Conor. And under pressure there, Leinster look a little indecisive at times, really not sure what to do.
Contepomi normally has a big say in these fixtures.
Okay, guys.
Sometimes he can be under a lot of pressure, other times he can be utterly brilliant. Remember the match in 2005 when he scored a couple of tries and ended up with 25 points. O'Leary then under pressure from Shane Jennings does well to duck under the tackle, buy himself a few seconds.
No, 2 players, please.
O'Connell playing scrum half. Composed in defence as ever, Munster. Now Gervin Dempsey. A little bit too much on that one, and it's easy. Darling with a good touch find. And just at the moment, it's Munster who are doing the simple things better, and surely that was forward. It's right in front of us, and I have to say, it looked a good bit forward, but Munster have the ball in any case, and they will look to create from deep. He's in a theme and needed a safe pair of hands because Hoylett the poacher was there, and that's audacious off the floor. That might be the kind of thing that will kick-start Leinster's game. Contepomi now. And it's a melee at the breakdown. Counter-rucking from Munster. Slowing up the ball now, Rocky Elsom. Tomas O'Leary. So strong. Alan Quinlan. Stronger still. And the hits keep on coming. And the crowd are relishing this. It's Leinster ball.
Come down, please.
Well, again, a massive hit here from Alan Quinlan, who's probably Munster's best forward in the opening half. Manages to get the shoulder in on Rob Kearney, and you could see again all the Munster players taking huge encouragement from that. But you go back to the quick line-out. The assistant referee was literally a yard away from it. There's no question the throw-in was at least a yard forward.
Touch. Hold engaged.
Whittaker, this time it's a good scrum from Munster. Heaslip, Whittaker looks to go inside O'Leary and O'Gara. O'Connell's there to help out. In comes Fogarty, Stanley Wright, Malcolm O'Kelly with him. They get past Donnacha O'Callaghan. On the second drive, it's Rocky Elsom. Whittaker now, 3 against 3, out wide, Gervin Dempsey. Good tackle, Doug Hoylett. So too Keith Earls. Well, the ruck was formed. Illegal from Doug Hoylett, and the decision goes the way of Leinster.
I think Mr. Burduff was right there. Dougie Hoylett was off his feet, but I think over the course of the night he hasn't endeared himself to the crowd. Leinster again trying to keep the ball alive. Gervin Dempsey has released it there, but Hoylett is off his feet playing the ball.
Keith Earls showing some good defence, and now Michael Cheika says, OK, it's time to change things up. Johnny Sexton is in, Gervin Dempsey is off. Rob Kearney will slot in at full back. Contepomi will go into midfield, and Johnny Sexton will get his chance.
Yeah, it's good.
And you have to say, on the evidence of Contepomi's performance tonight, Sexton deserves to have a go in the out half slot.
He looked very impressive as a replacement in the match against Ulster. Well, he doesn't often miss 2 in a row, but he has tonight, and it's looking ever more costly from Felipe Contepomi.
And he really is a temperamental player. We've seen it before. I mean, certainly from the moment he missed the first kick, he hasn't looked comfortable. And O'Gara is 3 from 3. Contepomi 0 from 2.
O'Connell with a seismic clash from the restart, and it's Munster ball. O'Gara to Maffey, looking to go past Gordon Darcy and Shane Jennings. Managed the first, not the second. There it is for Tomas O'Leary. On the short side, and Wallace with those crabbing feet.
Hands off!
Good tackle from Fogarty on Hayes. Niall Ronan put to ground. Now O'Gara may look for Maffey. Darcy read it all the way. Now Contepomi. First involvement for Sexton to Horgan. Now Rocky Elson. And this time the referee has spotted the forward pass. Ironic cheers as ever. And this one was nowhere near as far forward even as the last one, but it certainly was.
I think it was forward all right, but I think Mr. Bordas, it's fair to say he's made an impression on the Munster crowd.
Touch! Pause and go. Put you.
Munster scrummage is looking a little bit more solid now in the second half. It's two in a row have looked very good. Now Ronan O'Gara shows good feet. Moves the first tackle. There it is for a scrum half. Now it's Jerry Flannery, Ian Dowling. So strong, Dowling, deceptive player. The support was good. Now John Hayes clatters into three Leinster players and is put to ground. And wins the penalty.
On the floor.
It's against Gordon Darcy. Hands on the floor. This game just simmering nicely. The crowd getting involved. John Hayes getting involved. And from this, Munster will look for good field position and a chance to hit their jumpers.
Munster have just been far more clinical. John Hayes has been on the ball 3 times in the last 5 minutes. And they're almost extracting penalties out of Leinster. Their retention has been good. O'Gara is pulling the strings, putting them now in the right positions in the field.
Thomond Park alive with the noise. So much so that O'Leary comes over and delivers the call to his hooker and takes it off the top. Ronan O'Gara with a drop goal. Superb from Ronan O'Gara. The crowd rise to their feet and he runs away in that familiar fashion, much as he did to win the Grand Slam. Ronan O'Gara dissects the uprights and pushes Munster ever further ahead against the old enemy Leinster.
Well, I just made that comment about O'Gara making all the right decisions and orchestrating the second half. It was almost as if he showed the crowd what he did in the Millennium Stadium wasn't an accident.
Hands up, move! Back feet, down feet. Hold.
And O'Gara beginning more and more to pull the strings. Rob Kearney, again it's Tomas O'Leary, perfectly placed. Unnerving display from the scrum half under the high ball. 2 or 3 really good takes.
The ball's out.
In goes Jerry Flannery when it's loose, and it could yet come back on the Leinster side. It does. 3 players out that side, and again there's a little bit of a mix-up in communication. There was a possible overlap on Lefebvre came inside, the pass went outside.
Well, Munster were sloppy at the breakdown, having done the initial work. Again, nobody there. The ball was out. The Leinster players came in, but it was Cian Healy was the one who gave the poor pass.
On the ball.
Taken from O'Connell.
Yes.
Leinster just short of the 10-metre line, and in bad need of a little bit of inspiration from somewhere. The clock ticking toward the hour mark and yet to register a score. They failed to score the last time these sides met, don't forget, at the RDS. One-handed Malcolm O'Kelly. The advantage was coming.
Offside.
And now then,
No, the ball is not.
Contepomi with a pressure kick, a real pressure kick. And listen to the crowd.
Well, he has to get this. Leinster have to register some score on the field. Munster almost cynical at times in terms of giving away the penalties, keeping them out of the opposition 22. Just happy to slow down the ball and concede those penalties, and huge pressure on Contepomi here now to get this one.
And there can be absolutely no question whatsoever that when Leinster and Munster meet, at times something gets into the mind of Felipe Contepomi.
Well, it really is incredible. I mean, you look at this guy, his record of kicking is incredible, but he never got a hold of that ball. He almost topped the ball. A really poor strike, and the crowd has certainly got to him.
We think back automatically to that match a few seasons ago in a European semi-final match.
Hands off, 7.
It could be 12 points to 9. As it is, Munster have a cushion. Rob Kearney takes it at pace and takes it well. Alan Quinlan and Paul O'Connell there. Now Leo Cullen needs to be careful with his feet. O'Connell was beneath him. Sexton. Archer Rocky Elsom. In goes Shane Horgan. Niall Ronan there. Whitaker to Cian Healy. Stanley Wright in front of him. And it's basic errors.
Accidental contact. Contact accidental, sorry. That's good.
And Michael Cheika cannot be happy with what he's seen, particularly in this second half. Their performance level has dropped off a little.
Yeah, I think Leinster look rudderless at times, really. I mean, the kicks that Contepomi has missed, it has seeped the confidence from Leinster. They've been competitive, but Munster just at a different league when it comes to getting scores on the board and converting pressure into points. We've seen a number of occasions Leinster players offside, poor passes, really unforced errors, and Malcolm O'Kelly there trying to pull them together, but they do look disorganised at the moment.
Safe to say, it's at times like this they could use the influence of Brian O'Driscoll.
Well, O'Driscoll's presence certainly has been missed from Leinster in that midfield. You just know that he would have an influence on Contepomi as well in a situation like this.
Stay.
O'Leary to O'Gara. That is a sumptuous kick from Ronan O'Gara. Torpedoes it to within 5 metres of the Munster line, the Leinster line rather, and that will feel like another 3 points.
Well, it's the master getting back into the groove. I mean, that is game management at its best. There comes a time, forget the fancy stuff, put the ball into the corner and put the pressure back on the visitors.
Inside.
Well, if you recall the game in September at the RDS, Ronan O'Gara absolutely masterminded the victory. It was Melk and it was Doug Hyland that scored the tries, but Ronan O'Gara's imprint was all over the match, and it's becoming more and more telling. And it's brought a turnover, and Niall Ronan, hungry for work, goes down on it. Flannery over it, as is O'Connell, as is Hayes, and there it is for the scrum half. And the rare sight of a mistake from Alan Quinlan. Sexton.
Still advantage. Back feet.
Darcy finding it difficult to make any kind of ground. And it's not going Leinster's way, not finding touch, and Warwick with the confidence to try and take on the Leinster defence. Hoylett at scrum half. O'Gara, now Maffey. Wallace, support this side from Niall Ronan. Looks for the offload. Keith Earls. Earls with a handoff. Earls for the corner. Keith Earls for the try. And Keith Earls scores what could well be a match-winning try. He had so much work to do. Christophe Berdo says we will go upstairs. But that looks very much as though Keith Earls has scored a wonderful try. What a pop off the floor it was from Niall Ronan.
Thank you.
Great work really from Ronan there, and the fit work of Keith Earls. He just left Rob Kearney of all people standing dead. He stepped him up, and Kearney should have done better there, but hats off to Earls. We saw glimpses earlier in the season of just what a magic player this young fella is, and it really has finished the game from a Leinster point of view. Great work again from Ronan, who again has had an excellent game, put himself into the running to play next week, and clinical finishing from Keith Earls. But Rob Kearney won't like seeing it again.
Well, he only gave Keith Earls half a yard. It was all he needed, and it's his 7th try of the season in the Magners League. No one has scored more. Gordon Darcy being attended to as Ronan O'Gara looks to add the extras. And he's human after all, Ronan O'Gara. 17 points to nil. 18 points to nil they won earlier this season. And it is turning into a very good night for Munster and a very bad night for Leinster.
Yeah, and again, David Wallace part of this. The back row really taking over now. Quinlan Wallace and Niall Ronan, but hats off to Earls. That's a great try.
O'Gara.
Hands off!
And look at Munster now. They're winning the collisions, they're bossing the breakdown, and they're putting Leinster to the sword. And it's a test of character in many respects now for Leinster as much as anything. Away comes Paul O'Connell. Good work from Cian Healy, so strong.
Back feet, 5 feet. Hold.
Carney. He will want to have an impact. Sexton. Good hands again. Conchapomi to Rocky Elsom. Then he goes to Darcy, and again the assistant referee is in line. The referee calls it forward pass. How many is that we've seen now?
Yeah, no question, it was a forward pass right underneath us here, and Conchapomi, that was okay. Rocky Elsom here just managed to hold it up. Yeah, definitely forward, and there is a danger with the Heineken Cup next week that Leinster need to get something. They can't just fold here. They have to get something on the board. They have 17 minutes to play. They can't allow Munster to physically dominate and blow them away really in the last 15-16 minutes of this game. They have to pull themselves together. And Harlequins, you would wonder, who've had an outstanding week. It'll certainly, they'll be looking very, very favourably on that game played in the Stoop next week. And right now, I'm sure Michael Check is a concerned man.
Harlequins winning again today, beating Bath 19 points to 3 at the Rec, and they're looking in very good form. Running repairs to 2 or 3 players. Cian Healy looks as though his night's over. Change in the second row as well. Trevor Hogan is coming in.
It hasn't been the easiest night for a young lad, but Cian Healy for me has had an excellent 60 minutes in this game, and certainly a player for the future for Ireland.
Stay, 7.
Munster scrum has been much better in the second half, as has been most of their play. Warwick to Earls.
No. One! And don't release, move!
Wallace wins the tussle.
The Bruce Graham.
And then it goes forward, and it'll be a put in for Leinster. 16 minutes to go at Thomond Park. Leinster still to register on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and you can just see Munster are really smelling blood at the moment. All the players, we can hear them through the referee's mic. They're encouraging, they're roaring, they're looking to up the tempo even more.
Whittaker to Sexton to Contepomi. In behind is Izan Afewa. Out this way is Shane Horgan. Covering back as ever, Tomás O'Leary. He's had a fine match. And Doug Howlett just hacks it downfield and says to Leinster, come on, you do the work.
And you're right, Conor, again, great covering from Tomás O'Leary. That's what he does. His second line of defence is excellent. It's almost as if Munster are inviting the best out of Leinster. See what you can do. We'll take it on the ropes and cover it off every time. And it must be soul destroying when they're going through their backline moves like that. They're putting width on the game, but Munster certainly have been able to defend against everything they've offered.
Well, they have conceded 3 kickable penalties, as there's an ovation for Tomás O'Leary. In comes Peter Stringer. Ian Darling is coming off as well.
Number 7.
And I think that cheer for Stringer is just a measure of the feelings the crowd have for him. I think, you know, it has been a difficult few years, but it was really fantastic for him to see him on the field there when Ireland won the Grand Slam, and of course giving that pass for O'Gara for a drop goal that will be seen so many times over the next 50 years.
We'll never get tired of that. In many respects, this match is very similar to the match at the RDS, when Munster didn't have the ball for long periods, invited Leinster onto them, didn't make too many mistakes.
The difference, Conor, is they don't panic when they don't have possession.
Rocky Elsom. It's been his quietest match for quite some time for Leinster. Quinlan and Niall Ronan and Wallace have made sure of that. Whittaker. The battering ram of Stanley Wright. Whittaker again, this time it's Contepomi. Now it's Leo Cullen, goes back inside. Marcus Horan with another tackle. Darcy. Leinster trying to find some kind of a gap. It's been a wall of red, and the appetite for Munster is incorrigible. Marcus Horan again with the tackle. Leinster making very little ground. Sexton uses the boot, and now Rocky Elsom is off in chase. Across comes Peter Stringer. Rocky Elsom and Peter Stringer makes the trademark tackle. How many times? And here he is again. And well, the crowd love that, and rightly so.
It's incredible how many times Peter Stringer picks the biggest man on the field for the tackle. And as you said, Conor, almost in front of us, the whole crowd stood on their feet and applauded the tackle from Stringer. He really is an incredible athlete.
Johnny Sexton has taken a nasty gash.
You just see it here, again a clever chip in. Rocky Elsom, who really has tried his heart out, but look at that for a tackle. Around the ankles, almost took the toe laces or the boot laces out of his boots there. Incredible tackle. He knows size advantages with him. The only way he's going to take him out is around the ankles, and it just shows there's a place for everyone.
7 blue.
Big, small, it doesn't matter.
7. Oh, sorry. 7 blue. Substitution.
Well, it's symptomatic really of this Munster performance tonight.
And you have to admire Peter Stringer, as we said, a difficult 18 months for him, but he went away, he looked at his game, showed against Scotland when he had the opportunity, made the break to set up the Jamie Heaslip try, and you know, he really has risen to the challenge from Tomás O'Leary as Sexton goes off the field to a round of applause as well.
John Hayes as well. Tony Buckley is in.
No.
Johnny Sexton goes over to the far side to be attended to after a bang of heads with Rocky Elsom. A nasty looking cut. Cullen takes the line out.
No boots.
Fogarty.
Back feet, back feet.
Leinster desperately trying to get themselves on the scoreboard. Donnacha Ryan goes in. Ronan McCormick. Whitaker goes on the narrow channel to Leo Cullen. And again to Stanley Wright. He's in a Thiwa now, Shane Horgan, and now the gap appears, and now the overlap is on. And Gordon Darcy is in for a try for Leinster. They worked it well, they had the numbers, Shane Horgan spotted the gap, the pass was simple and straightforward to Gordon Darcy, and Leinster in the 68th minute finally have some points.
Well, again, this time the Munster defence looked to have everything under control, but to Shane Horgan coming around, taking possession, and Gordon Darcy, once he gets an opportunity, great line from Horgan off the blindside wing, putting Darcy through the hole. Munster's defence had stood up to everything, but Leinster, you feel, I mean, they deserve to get something on the board for their attacking play, and Darcy, the one who got the try.
Not to be for Consipomi. 0 from 5, and he looks like a pensive man. The doctor in need of a remedy, it seems. All is not well. Nice little pass from Nathiwa. And a comfortable finish from Gordon Darcy. Now, will that inspire Leinster to greater things in the last 10 minutes or so? Stanley Wright juggles with it and takes it well. If they can get another score, particularly a try, of course, bonus points and so on come into play. Every point is important. Marcus Horan showing his strength.
Inside.
He's in a Thiwa with that familiar nonchalant kicking style. Alan Quinlan shows his prowess under the high ball. Now Ronan O'Gara to Lafemi Maffey. Out on this near side and dinked ahead. And into touch it goes, and Munster showing good invention, mixing up their play well.
I'm not sure it was the right option really from Barry Murphy. Again, great wit in their play, but worryingly, Tony Buckley, who's just come onto the field, he's gone down. It looks like an ankle injury, and John Hayes, after that rapturous reception he got from the crowd, he might be getting another one, because he may well have to come back on the field.
Well, it's difficult to know just how to assess the Leinster performance, Donald, in the sense that the changes to the back line and the fact that perhaps players haven't, as you mentioned, Shane Horgan hasn't played in that position all season, and even when they came out tonight they changed 3 or 4 times. You know,
Munster going in the lead at half-time, they definitely upped the tempo of the second half, and they were well deserving of the try from Keith Earls, but they, if anything, they look in a different class to Leinster at the moment.
Mick O'Driscoll now coming in. Johnny Sexton is back on, so Simon Keogh goes back to the bench. Dermot O'Callaghan off for Munster. 10 minutes to go. O'Connell very close, and he's claiming that he was impeded. Darcy looked to go back inside Lafemi Maffey, and he was dumped, but he's still going. That's typical of Darcy. You think you have him, and there's a little bit of afters on the floor over on that far side, and 1 or 2 more players getting involved as Leinster looking to try and break on this near side. It's not yet been calmed down over on that side.
There's two areas of activity at the moment. Certainly there was a bit of afters there. The assistant referee obviously let the referee know he stopped play. And you just hope it doesn't get out of hand, because it's been a fantastic game. It's all stemmed, I think, from that tackle. Johnny Sexton and Maffey really silly getting involved there with a game of Heineken Cup importance next week.
And then one or two more, and then one or two more after that. Meantime, as all this was going on.
Striking his opponent.
Straight here, yeah?
Yes.
What is your recommendation?
It's a yellow card.
Yellow card?
12 red. Start with a penalty, 4 blue.
4 blue?
12 red.
Yeah?
Yellow card.
Yeah. Okay, 12.
Striking.
Straight. Straight, boom.
Femi Maffey striking Johnny Sexton. 10 minutes in the bin, and a penalty to Leinster.
12. 12. Wait. No, don't talk. Don't talk.
Paul O'Connell making the point that Femi Maffey has a bit of a bump above his eye as well.
The time off, huh?
Yeah, Maffey reacted to something, but there's no question he did throw the dig. I think Johnny Sexton was a little frustrated as well. Obviously, coming onto the field, then having to go off with a blood injury, he reacted as well.
Yeah, it's a single. Yeah, give a punch. 10 minutes. After you necessarily give a punch.
Paul O'Connell querying there.
The report is very
obviously
clear.
something happened to him. There's no question that Maffey threw a dig. We didn't actually see clearly what happened before that.
Well, the referee and the assistant referee will judge that they can only rule on what they've seen, and the striking offence for Maffey was picked up. Anything thereafter, not so. Let's see if we can look at it again.
You just see the tackle coming in there from Maffey, but there's afterwards here. Oh, I just wonder there. I think it was maybe a trailing boot from Whittaker that might have caught Maffey.
Yeah. Certainly looked like it on the evidence of that replay.
Yeah, but the percentage was not straight.
And John Hayes has been reintroduced following that injury to Tony Buckley. So
again, Tony Buckley, a player who's had a horrible season with both illness and injury. I think had he been fit, he may well have been challenging for that reserve position on the bench for Ireland. And you know, it's terrible to see him come on and have to go off again after 10 minutes.
Jerry Flannery requiring some attention. Well, 3 points Munster led Leinster coming into this match. They're going to open up a gap at the top of the table unless we're in for quite a finish from Leinster.
And you do feel if you know, Munster go on to win this game, which but you obviously think they will, it puts them really in a very strong position with the Magners League. I think they finish up with the Ospreys here at home as well, which are probably. But I think despite their win last night, it sort of puts it out of their hands as well.
Connacht next, and then the Scarlets, then Cardiff, and then finally, as Donald says, the Ospreys here on the weekend of the 15th to the 17th of May.
Dennis Fogarty has snuck on there now, so you have the Fogarty brothers are scrummaging down against each other.
Touch! Balls engaged.
Then it goes from Stringer. Wallace breaks away and hands off Elsom. Elsom recovers to make the tackle. Leinster ball, and it has been a very interesting clash of the back rows. And the Sting rather just taken out of the game by the raft of replacements and the one or two injuries, and then a little bit of a fracas as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, Conor. I think the key there is try kind of finish the game as a contest. I think both teams nearly have next week on their minds now, and don't want to get any more injuries.
Whittaker, Sexton, Darcy. Carney had to juggle it, and that rather took the momentum out of the attack. Leinster's defence, though, bar that one little break from Shane Horgan to set up the try for Darcy, has been excellent. And Keith Earls has got through a lot of work. Alan Quinlan steals it Fogarty now to O'Gara, and the miss-out pass. And now Murphy outside of Horgan. Dorsey's there, he's passed him to the inside pass, delayed brilliantly. Fogarty for the try. And that is good night, Leinster. Brilliantly manufactured down this near side by Barry Murphy. Delayed the pass superbly, knew the support was there, and it was finished off brilliantly by Denis Fogarty.
And great vision again from Munster. A great skip-out pass from Ronan O'Gara, but Barry Murphy left Shane Horgan for dead there. At one stage you thought that he may have delayed the pass too much. Denis Fogarty literally on the field 2 minutes. That's poor defence from Shane Horgan. A great pass inside from Denis Fogarty. Nasiba coming in with a bit of a cheap shot there, leading with the shoulder. But that's clinical, and really Munster have been far superior throughout this second half, and they really have taught Leinster a lesson.
Great pace out wide and good awareness from Ronan O'Gara to go direct.
I think the other key element as well, Connery, when you look at the subs that Munster were able to bring in, Tony Buckley, Mick O'Driscoll, Donnacha O'Callaghan, all internationals in the pack. Peter Stringer, another hardened international, and Barry Murphy has also made his impact.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Ronan O'Gara just pushing this one ever so slightly, so 22 points to 5. It remains a little over 5 minutes to go, and surely there is no way back whatsoever for Leinster now. Two lovely second half tries, Keith Earls and Denis Fogarty, and too many key players you feel for Leinster have not put their hand up.
Forward and offside incidents. Come on, let's go.
They do have the penalty, however, and they look to take it quickly. Leinster recycle and look to penetrate down the left-hand side. Whitaker goes in. Fogarty, the try scorer, gets out of the way. Now it's Sexton. Crossfield kick looking for the height of Shane Horgan, and he knocks it backwards. It doesn't go to hand, and Paul O'Connell kicks downfield and then gallops with that long stride after it. Sean O'Brien has it. Space beginning to open up all over the field now. Trevor Hogan.
Hands off, Red!
Whitaker to Sexton.
Red foam!
It's been a tireless display from Munster. Tackle count must be huge. Shane Horgan now, and again he's just ushered into touch, and the crowd are really enjoying the latter part of this match.
Yeah, I think when you look at the overall performance, you go back to September when Munster won that game 18-0 in the RDS. You really it flattered them on the night. It was a great contest, and they just pulled away in the last 5 or 10 minutes. The margin tonight, no question, Munster the far superior side, and really deserving of this victory.
Simon Keogh is back on now for the last few minutes.
Simon! Time on. Come on, Red. Ready? Here we go.
So, line out to Munster it is for Fogarty. They go to the front to Mick O'Driscoll against Trevor Hogan, and Mick O'Driscoll wins that particular duel. Stringer sends Murphy off in chase. And it's incidental because the referee's whistle is gone.
1 meter, right front of the kick.
Okay, Donal, it's time to ask you for your Magners man of the match.
Yeah, well, I think it's when you look at the performance of Munster or Leinster in the first half with Cian Healy and Rocky Elsom, really impressed. But the second half of it mattered most, when you needed direction, when you needed to put points on the board. O'Gara once again was the guy who stepped forward. No question, Ronan O'Gara is my Magners League man of the match.
Well deserved indeed.
One. Yeah.
And just to confirm, Simon Keogh is on for Shane Horgan. He's in Athiwa, is still over on the far wing. Fogarty goes for Leo Cullen. Hogan to Rocky Elsom against Paul O'Connell, and then he sells him a little bit of a dummy and spins away. Almost loses his shorts. Stanley Wright.
Away tackler.
Slow coming back to Whitaker. Leinster come in search of a second try. Simon Keogh does well. Whitaker now to Fogarty, the tackle from Hayes.
Away tackler. And off.
Carney tried to dance his way through and the door was firmly closed in his face. Now Contepomi, will he yet have a say? He's in Athiwa, back inside to Keogh. No way through. Contepomi, good awareness. Now Mick O'Driscoll has him. And it has not been Felipe Contepomi's night.
Well, you just think, poor old Felipe, he'll hope that Toulon never have a European Cup match here against Munster. And I think, to be fair, you've got to recognise the impact and the contribution that he has made to Leinster over the past 6 or 7 years. A tremendous performer, great servant for Argentina as well, who did so well in the World Cup, but it just hasn't happened for him against the men in red.
Let's go.
He may yet get a chance for revenge in a European semi-final. Who knows? John Hayes in the 80th minute, still getting through the work. Warwick's kick to Nathiwa, and now Carney. Leinster come from deep again in search of what would be a consolation. Gordon Darcy, try scorer. No way through again.
Hands off.
Again, the Leinster attack snuffed out by 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And then Sean O'Brien spotted a little bit of a gap.
Yeah.
And it's gone forward, and that is the final piece of action after what has been a great game of rugby. But it's Munster who take the spoils, and Munster who open up a gap at the top of the Magners League table. The defending champions Leinster registering only that second half try from Gordon Darcy. At that stage they were already 17 points in arrears. 2 tries in the second half. The first, a flash of real brilliance from Keith Earls. The second, a wonderful finish to a lovely move from Dennis Fogarty. Ronan O'Gara, as ever, the linchpin for Munster. Contepomi and O'Gara together. It's been very much Ronan O'Gara's night. Ian Darling returned from injury tonight and played his part as well. The final score though is Munster 22, Leinster 5.